Alright, the Reds, it's Talking Reds with me, Gareth Roberts, Andy Heaton joining me. This is Talking Reds from the Anfield wrap, home of the media darlings. Yesterday, the national media, the world media were knocking at our door, asking us to do bits because everyone is talking about the mighty Reds. So we're CNN, we have BBC, Josh has written something for The Guardian, Gibbo was sat on the BBC breakfast couch. It all went off. Craig was talking to Jeremy Vine. So, yeah, that was good. So if you missed all that, go and check it out. Particularly young Josh's piece for The Guardian. He's smashed it out the park there. We're all very proud of him. But anyway, the Reds and that and football and stuff. We're all obviously gearing up for this Champions League final. We've got the small matter of the Premier League on Sunday as well, open for that slip up from Man City and give us that opportunity to win a big number 19. But yeah, last night, Spurs, Andy, obviously a comeback of their own, as unexpected as ours, I suppose, in the terms of how the actual match went and stuff like that. Already the mainstream media are doing what the mainstream media do in terms of, well, which one was the best then? You know, whose is the best comeback and all this sort of stuff. Just be listening to 5 Live driving in. What do you reckon? I'm saying it's the second best comeback of the week personally, but go on.
I wouldn't even say it's close, to be honest, but one of them. But I don't really care about Spurs or the mainstream media, so
yeah.
One of them, innit? I mean, come on. You're talking about Barcelona, the players they've got. I'm not knocking Ajax, by the way. I wanted them in the final. I think they played some great football. But before the start of the game, before the two ties are played, Spurs are strong favourites over Ajax. Liverpool, Barca slightly, well, more even. Barca take a 3-0 lead on their patch, and Liverpool are left with the mountain to climb against one of the top sides in Europe. Spurs made a mess of the first leg.
Yep.
And the second leg to a degree, but Ajax looked out on the feet. And I think as well, I'm not besmirching the result, but I think Spurs got the break of the ball. You look at the second goal where the keeper's saved and he's about to dive on, and the defender kicks it out of his legs. But you know what? Either way, not asked. It's us, innit? Because no one cares about Spurs anyway. Could have played it on the moon. Wouldn't give a fuck.
But it is Spurs, so now we know, and now we know that that's who we're playing in the final. I like the manager, I've got to say. You know, it was quite nice sort of seeing him in bits at the end and on the pitch, and you know, saluting the fans and all that kind of stuff. That was quite a nice touch. And that is who we're playing. It is Liverpool's 9th European Cup final, and it's Tottenham's first. We are all, of course, all bailing into Madrid now and all trying to find a way there. People looking for mad flights all over Europe. People looking at trains, planes, automobiles, buses.
I like that.
Buses, apparently, is what we're doing again. Fucking hell. But yeah, so, I mean, we just got to get into it, haven't we? We've got to get into the idea that this is who we are playing. I mean, I get the idea, and that, you know, we're talking about it in the office this morning, saying it seems a little less romantic in a way, in that it's 2 English sides, because it's the European Cup after all, and you want that sort of romance of someone different, you know, not a game you've played already in the Premier League and things like that. But nevertheless, I mean, I look at it and I just think, well, we've beaten them twice this season already. Even that game last night, there's loads of holes in Spurs' defence. I still don't rate that goalkeeper. You fancy us, don't you? Yeah,
but it's more, I mean, away from the game, and as you said, Pochettino's a great manager. Sound, no problem with him. How he set up, given the budget restraints, I think he's done an amazing job. It's not necessarily about Spurs. It's just that I can't be asked with Dave from Dagenham in Madrid. Just, mate, you know what I mean? It's like, part of the luster of it is like going over there and just soaking up the local culture, and you know, and you hardly see the opposition fans, but when you do, you try and have a bit of a laugh with them and get on with it. You don't want some Brexit dickhead like bouncing around Madrid, just spoiling your day, lashing plastic chairs everywhere. It's not for me, that.
We probably won't see them, as you say. This is the thing. I've heard a lot of people sort of saying, "Oh well, you know, we'll be mixing with Spurs fans all the time." But we probably won't. I mean, like, you know, the police always put you in different areas of the city and things like that. And to be honest, if you don't like what goes on in squares at European Cup finals, it's quite easy to wander off.
I mean, to be fair with Spurs fans, and I've said this previously, I'm not just saying this now, I think that they are some of the best fans to come to Anfield over the course of the season, mainly because they don't regurgitate every boring song we hear every week. So out of all the London clubs, I think they're probably the most tolerable, certainly more palatable than Arsenal fans. You know?
But they have, of course, progressed to the final, Spurs, by drawing the last 2 ties. So, you know, gone through both rounds on away goals there, boys. They got beat by Barcelona earlier on in the competition, at home, in the group stage. So again, little pointer there, maybe that we're better than you lads. But we shall see. We'll see how it all unfolds. The other thing that's going on at the moment, Josh has put this on the agenda. It's massively not for me, this, by the way. I had a few people tweet me about this saying, do you know what the plans are for trophy parades? I couldn't be less interested. Let's win the fucking thing first before we start banging on about parades. So you're just setting yourself up for a fall for me. Even if you're just having a conversation about it online in a visible way, you know that there will be bellends that will pile onto that and go, look at them, they think they've won it already and all this kind of stuff. But apparently the idea is, I haven't really looked into this, Josh put it down here, that the plans are that if Liverpool were to do the double, which would be fantastic and there's still every chance, then there would be 2 parades. Apparently that is the logistics of it. Both would be the day after the potential victories. There's a bit of backlash about this fact, apparently, but of course, you know, these things have to be planned out, and the logistics, you can't just have sort of 250,000 people just rocking out onto the streets trying to welcome a bus without some kind of planning in terms of police, road closures, etc, etc, etc. Massively not interested, me personally, in all this. Like I say, let's get these things won and then worry about where you go and see them.
Oh yeah, no, I understand the reasons why these things have got to be planned for, yeah, but you know, I don't know, how do you solve that problem though? I understand what you're saying, I agree with you, but it's a problem, how do you solve it? I mean, I remember in Athens 07, someone snuck a photograph of the bus wrapped as if we'd won it. Well, of course.
Of course, yeah.
What are we supposed to do? Do you know what I mean? Just wait.
It's like when there's tickets, you know, there's 2 Premier League trophies at the weekend, isn't there,
yeah.
and things like that. There's tickets printed for games that never happen. You know, there was an article the other week on the BBC about, you know, a potential playoff for the Premier League between Liverpool and City and things like that. There was a previous occasion where Newcastle and Man United were going head to head. They printed tickets for the potential playoff. This is what they do. This is what logistics is. This is what plans is. But this is just banter bollocks again, and people being blurred.
Just while we're still on this though, the game on we're talking about the 2 parades and the game on Sunday. I don't know how you feel about it because we've not spoke. We've just bumped into the office 10 minutes ago. I wouldn't say it's almost like a party atmosphere now, but you consider after the City game earlier in the week how I felt about Wolves. I was dreading it. I thought we'd win, but I was cold sweat. It was just going to be like, it was akin to the Newcastle game a couple of years ago.
It was just flat.
We're just flat as anything.
Yeah.
Now, given the week, it's kind of, I wouldn't say a party atmosphere, but we're going to have a celebration anyway, regardless of what happens.
Absolutely, and it should be like that. Look, it should be like that. I wrote something earlier on in the week saying that, this was before as well, that we'd beaten Barcelona, saying that, look, you know, whatever happens, we should be celebrating this side, we should be getting right behind them, because they've paused absolutely everything.
But it's easy to do that now.
No, but we should have done it anyway,
yeah,
though, you know what I mean? But regardless, and I think we will now, obviously, on Sunday. Everyone's dead excited about the talk of Madrid and stuff like that, and it's weird that everyone's sort of almost forgotten that there's a Premier League, an opportunity to still win the Premier League here, as unlikely as it may be. But stranger things have happened and all that. I mean, you know, some centre-half with a massive head put it in the top bin the other day, and you don't see that happen often. So something the other way could happen. You know, Glenn Murray might score an overhead kick from the halfway line in the last minute. Who knows?
Ex-Everton Shane Duffy.
Who knows, mate? Honestly, who knows? So let's go to the game, celebrate it, enjoy it, get right behind the heads and see what happens. I think most people will.
To put it in perspective, Liverpool to qualify the other night were 25-1. Man City are 5-1 to drop points. Piece of piss.
There you go. There you go. Look, these things do happen, so let's pray and pray
Oxford
and pray.
United.
Whatever it is you've got to make lucky things happen, do it on Sunday. Wear the pair of bills that are lucky, put your lucky socks on, kiss your ma, bring some sweets from your nan, whatever it is you do, you know what I mean, do it. The other thing I wanted to briefly mention as well, because I'm not sure whether it's being covered on other shows or not, is just the sort of the ticket situation for the final. Liverpool have got an allocation of 16,613 tickets for the final, which, as you will all know, is shite. The ground that we are going to, Atletico Madrid, holds 67,000. Only 16,000 have actually been allocated to the fans of Liverpool Football Club. The same will go to Spurs, and then, you know, basically half the tickets go to UEFA's football family or whatever fucking bollocks they call it these days. The price of the tickets as well, category 1, £513, 410 for a restricted view, bargain. Category 2, 385 quid, 308 restricted. Category 3, 154 quid, 120 restricted. And the lowest category is £60, but only 20% of the tickets in the stadium are £60. Now, a few things about this. People sort of, this happens every time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it seems we know more about it than most because we seem to be so regularly in European.
But can I just put it? It's not even 20. It's not even 20. How much would you say the cheapest ticket's a percentage of?
It's about 20%.
But it's not even that. That's
20%
just
of
Liverpool's
60.
allocation.
Yeah.
If you take it as an entire stadium, it's probably about what, 3-4%,
Yeah.
which is ridiculous. Sorry, lives.
No, it's sound. You're absolutely spot on. I mean, the thing to me here is, it shouldn't be taken as this is what always happens. I see people say that. Well, if you did that about everything in life, then nothing ever changes, does it? So if you don't kick up a fuss, if you don't moan, if you don't complain, if you don't club together and do things with like Spirit of Shankly, Football Supporters Federation, stuff like that, and kick up a bit of a fuss about these things never will change. The other thing for me is that, you know, why pick a ground that's 67,000 for a final? I had a quick look before, and you know, why aren't we for a European Cup final? Why aren't we regularly just picking the biggest grounds in Europe and going from there? So Camp Nou, been there, 99,000. Croke Park in Dublin, 82,000. Twickenham even might not be a football stadium, but it holds 82,000. Stade de France, 81,000. Bernabeu, 81,000, etc., etc., etc. There's a load more tickets that could potentially be going to people who actually go the match week in, week out. And I think it's grim. It's grim every time. It sort of gets to me a little bit how grim it is that, you know, you can have people who go to every home game, for instance, in the Champions League this season, on top of the fact that they've also paid to go to all the league games as well. They get to a moment like this, they get to a game like this, and then they can't go. They're in a ballot. This includes me, by the way. I went away in Europe this season, but I went away in Europe this season by getting tickets off other people and things like that, not because I qualified. And so I now don't qualify for the final ticket, so I'm in the boat with the rest of us. I don't know if I'm going. I'm planning to go. I hope to go. I'm probably going to be on this bus with about 20 pillows wrapped around my neck. But will I get a ticket? Who knows? We'll see. It's all a bit shit, isn't it? Come on, let's be honest. Anyway, moving on from that, just wanted to get you on. Apparently there's news, perhaps not surprisingly really, that Origi contract talks are planned and made up. Deserves one, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, as long as it comes with a statue, I'm banging.
Is right.
No, I just think on Divock, sorry Gareth, I just think on Divock, and people talk about the improbable, even the game at the weekend. But improbable things happen. If I would have said to you at the start of the season, Divock Origi would score the winner against Everton, have a massive hand in our European campaign in putting Barcelona out, and all the other moments he's had, the goals against Wolves, etc. Newcastle, last minute winner, you'd have laughed at me. You'd have laughed at me. Impossible as nothing, honest to God. And you know what, he deserves it. And he hasn't done himself, even away from that, he's had a positive impact. He looks like a different player.
I heard him talking the other day, and it was really interesting. I read an interview with him once before, a long time back, where he said he's genuinely got an interest in psychology, and I think you can tell, because he keeps getting himself in a place where he can come on and he can make a contribution, he can do something. And he said, he said in this interview I heard the other day that football allows me to shine a light, which is a nice phrase in itself, isn't it? And I think, you know, lots of players would get miserable being in Divock Origi's position, you know, sort of on the periphery, not really getting a go. Even some of those goals you mentioned, he comes in, he contributes, he wins games for us, and then he's out the picture again. You know, even Porto, you know, the other week, he's hooked at half time and things like that. And yet there he is, starting against Barcelona. His attitude's brilliant. Alan Shearer was praising how he played in that game and things like that. He deserves it for me. If he's happy to stick around, knowing that he'll be on the periphery as he has been, but coming in and contributing when he can, then absolutely brilliant. And I said on one of the shows the other day, I'd love to interview him because I think he's a dead interesting figure, because to be able to come in and contribute and play so well and get mentally in that place over and over again is not easy. It's hard, and he's done it. And so, you know, spot on. Josh put it means probably we won't sign another striker. Well, we shall see on that. There's going to be loads and loads of transfer chat right through the summer, as there is ever on the Anfield Wrap. One other shout as well is that we've got got a live show this Saturday at Manford Hall. There's tickets still available for that. It's going to be a bit of a celebration of the season so far. We don't know what's going to happen on Sunday, obviously, but we are in a final. Plenty to go at. Bit of a sort of live show, mini live show with Gibbo and Neil having a bit of a mess around on the stage. Confetti cannons, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently. The T Street Band as well are playing, aren't they? Who are our mates, but also a great band.
And for those who haven't seen them live.
Really good live, loads of energy. If you've never heard them as well, check them out. They're on Spotify. They brought a new album out this year and it was spot on. And yeah, so loads of fun, loads of contributors and ourselves will be down there. Come and have a natter, come and have a pint, get involved. A good way to prepare for the last game of the season at Anfield. Not the last game of the season for Liverpool though. The last game of the season for Liverpool will be the Champions League final in Madrid. And how good does that sound? Listen, it's a pain in the arse. You wait for the knobheads. The tickets are dear. It's impossible to get there. EasyJet at Bellends. Everyone's putting the prices up, but the Reds are in a Champions League final. That has been Talking Reds for today. Nice one to Andy, nice one to Sam. Up the Reds, have a boss day. Go away.